Is May 16th, 2023. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get off till about 11. And oh my God, this last night, a few hours ago, I was at my client's on Torquay Street. That Alex showed up. I know his voice. He's way off in the distance. Well, it's just too bad I taped her before. Retired George Piskin. The one that raped me. So I went out and I went out to my car. I sat down at the edge with the door open. So I start going through the drugs and told to say stuff. Who all knew, who went to the place, the shower scene in the other room, the minute to frame me. People yelled, "Don't say a word," and then a bunch of them laughed. Okay. You know, I was talking to one sheriff, and they said something about Michelle, his girlfriend. She would have daddy issues to find it okay for anything to happen. I said, "Oh, you mean gold digger?" He said, "Well, that too. But for her to think this is okay for them to rape you, beat you, and all that, her father's had to rape her." The same thing with Alex. For them to be this evil. You do realize these people are not thinking. If we went up to even a Portage County sheriff or a Starr County sheriff, this is a man that said he kicked in my door to the wall. Watch their faces. This is a man that said where I had bruises and I was throwing up, that made up that the sodium pentothal reports, and they were day rape drugging me, and they beat the ones that left all those bruises on me and made me throw up, and I had that personal infection, and they said they were raping me. It's that man right there. What do you think if their sheriff department would do to them? Oh yeah, and what are they gonna say? Dave hired me to do it? It'd be, what could have run to Dave? See what I mean? They're not thinking of what they're saying. They're not thinking, Dave hired us to stalk her, beat her, drug her, rape her, so it's okay. No, it's not. You know, I got rid of a lot of them. I started reading the Fourth Amendment, the right of people to be safe and secure within your own person, to be safe within yourself, in your surroundings, in your house, your papers, your effects. Shall not be violated. What's wrong with this? No searches, no seizures. Without warrant. You have to have a warrant. With a probable cause listing the items, the papers affect a person to be searched or seized with an oath or affirmation. What's wrong with this? That's just a search warrant. To actually watch you in your home, it has to be police and agencies in a home under threat of life with statements. I have talked to the Portage County Sheriff's, denied all knowledge of these people and all involvement. And what they did is illegal. Dave admitted April 15, 1623 to our son Danny that he had hired some guy named Pete on his own. And it was only Pete up there doing it to me. The beating, the rape, the bruises, the photoshopping. Retired Judge Pete is not funny, and he's a serial rapist, so is his children. He's had to rape them to make him this evil. They're part of the drug cartel that was here. And they need to be arrested. A man cannot hire another man to stalk his wife, kick in their door, watch them through button camera stalking him, take videos of that, you and him in bed, making love, and sell it. You, the wife, in the shower, and then photoshopping is asinine. Date rape drugging somebody and saying they have sodium pentothal reports, and beating that poor person under drugs, waking up, hand marks in bed, and you're like, did I squeeze myself? The fingerprints are bigger than mine. I have giant bruises. Where did I get banged up? I mean, if he was beating me, why didn't I wake up? Throwing up, dizzy, heart racing, short of breath, almost passing out, not knowing what's wrong with you. Then your personal area gets infected, and here you're being date raped, drugged, beaten, raped. And you go into the doctor of all things because you don't work outside the house. Nobody knows what's wrong with you. Can a man hire another man to do that to his wife? Mm-mm. What is remarkable to me is these people didn't call the police on Dave and tell on him for trying to hire somebody like that, and were willing to be that evil criminal. And then they won't run around, well, we can get money out of it, right? No. And that FBI agent better not have known about the button cameras and the photoshopping, the date rape drugging, Dave letting them beat and rape me. And he didn't arrest him. He better not have known that I was being human trafficked out of that house under drugs. He better not have known they were drugging me and beating me. They even cut my leg. I woke up with my leg bleeding on the bed. I still have a fine line on my leg. I had to tape it closed. Maybe I got you with a toenail. This boy does a cigarette. Now you tell me that agent knew any of this. And he didn't arrest him. In February and March of 19, I was in the mall, and where they had sold the login to the protected custody case he started. A domestic violence shelter was watching me, and this one guy was with him. He had brown hair, brown beard. He looked a little bit like Joshy, my middle son. And he's with that one lady. And that was out at Dr. Rapika's office yelling at some of them for being mean to me. And she looked back and said, she's amazing. He'd look back, he smiled and said, she is. She said, I'd like her to speak when this is over. He looked back, he said, she is amazing. And I could write a bestseller on what happened. I would call it Karen's Prayers. A paid-off dirty agent. A man trying to kill his wife. And men being shot at running. It would be a bestseller. Try adding a drug cartel coming at you. Almost getting shot, driving, being raped, tortured. It's why people buy the login. It's real terrorism happening to a victim. And these people are like, well, we were doing it to her before. Dave hired us. Do they realize they can go to jail? They do realize that, right? They think they can get money out of it. That's where it's phenomenal. They think they can get money out of it. I would like to walk up to either a Portage or a Stark County sheriff. We're the ones Dave hired to kick in her door. You did what? We're the ones that set up the button cameras. You were stalking her. We have sodium pentothal reports. You were drugging her up. We even had to beat the truth out of her. You were beating her too. Oh, some of the guys raped her. Oh, retired Judge Pete raped her. How fast do you think their faces would turn from stern to psychotically angry? And then they're going to body slam him. Well, Dave hired us. We'll get to Dave. That kind of thing. Now, is any of that admissible? Or in the Fourth Amendment, where the right of the people to be safe and secure within your own person, that's yourself and your surroundings. You have a right in your house, your paper and your effects shall not be violated. What's wrong with this? Dave can't hire a stalker to watch me in my house. This is a Fourth Amendment violation. They can never look or listen. Dave can't hire a stalker to Photoshop shower scenes, date rape, drug me so I'm sleepwalking, and stocking tapes it and use it against me. These people are actually that stupid. They think they could get money out of it. Instead of being a good person and would call the cops on them and say, my God, you did what? You know, that one client on Turkey Street, the one double house, where they had showed them the video of Thanksgiving of 18, where those one set of grandkids friends with Michelle, Auntie Shell, actually, and they wanted the house for her, and they made up the mean jokes, them and their mother. In protective custody caught him saying lying. Then Thanksgiving, and they wanted the house for Auntie Shell and Pawpaw and Grandpa needs to get out. And then they were making everything up to Flora. They were games of pretend. Giggle, giggle, giggle. They were out there, said people showed up here today. We told them they made everything up on her. And they were talking about stuff outside. See, 2 weekends back, or week back, not this last weekend, but the weekend back, I was walking in Messrs Park. Karen Sewell's here today. So they either call that or the camera on the house. And they said, we all know not to say anything to her. It was our ex-husband with some guy named Pete on his own doing it to her. An FBI betrayed her. You know I turned this into the Department of Justice and this, a couple other people. That agent actually opened a case. With statements. Bullied me. You know, I tried to tell him somebody told on me to that church. He called me a flat-out liar. Dave told Danny on April 15, 1623, there's an agent up at that church asking threats on her life. And he spoke to him personally. And then he was the only agent from the agency looking in on his own. Yeah. Where that retired judge sold the login to the protected custody case. One client up in Akron, we went up to that church, they all seen him. November 6, 22, investigators working the case. Karen's okay anymore. We found the protected custody order. And they were talking about the case, and they said, the one guy went, you know what? The agent that called her back, it was verified by an officer. He seen him tell on her before she called him back. And when I tried to tell him about the guy at the Huntington Bank, was there a camera above the bench? I don't know. If you don't know if there's a camera above the bench, you better say you're lying or I'll put you in jail. I'm like, what? Now that was there a camera above the bench? I don't know. They say you're lying. I'm like, or I'll put you in jail. I'm like, fine, whatever. It wasn't my place to find the camera. In background laws, Department of Justice 1729, you have to take a victim or a witness or inform a statement. If you believe them or not, follow through. You should ask for the number of that church and uh, describe the banker so he could talk to him. And then get the time and the date and pull the video of at least him walking by. It was his duty to find out. And where didn't he find out that Dave had that house bugged? Why didn't he find out about Pete? And that they were drugging me, beating me, raping me? Huh? And photoshopping scenes and stacking tapes and arrest him? Huh? And for conspiracy and for doing this. Assault, kidnapping, attempted murder, drugs, human trafficking, sex trafficking videos, with them doing shower scenes in the other room they obtained and dispensed kiddie porn. So why didn't he find out? So whose fault is this? It's his. 100% his. Made me beg for my life, list me informant for life, $5,000 a month for life, even when you tell, and then threaten me if I told. They said he stole the money on the first day. I told you I didn't believe he was real, so I googled the office where he said he was at, and I found him when Dave was threatening Dixie and the baby's life. They all, well, he's got a list. I'm working on it. He heard him. And when I seen the guy, he's took off through the side yard. I called back down, or not side yard, but side woods. I called down there. I said, well, he seen that guy, and you tell those police up there to get a hold of it. We're busy. The serial killer's down the street and they're busy. I'd already almost been shot in the head driving. I had stalkers coming out at me. I had bruises and throwing up and losing 5 to 7 pounds a week. People in Walmart are bragging they're using sodium pentothal on me and all this, and then telling me to say crazy stuff, and I'm waking up with marks on me. They want to pull the case or drug the hell out of me. It wasn't even safe to go to the refrigerator without being jumped. Where Alex 12/21/18, I go to the refrigerator, open the refrigerator. First thing in the morning after I get a shower. Someone stabs me in the neck, foggy, hazy, dark, bright light, felt myself cry. Woke up 6 hours later in bed with marks all over me, and I have a dent in my head. The bastard stabbed me in the neck and bashed me in the back of the head. Knocked me out, beat me, raped me, and when he got done cleaning up, he left his comb on Dave's dresser. Then bragged he did it in Bob Evans. Huh? In January 19, he needs to go to jail. There are so many crimes, and then raped and tortured July to September 19, human traffic between May and June of 19. That agent had the biggest case. We had several different drug gangs come down here, and they were helping out their drug suppliers. They started human trafficking people out of this area. And they had, like, my one friend that said he had a friend on the police department, and they were working the case that agent opened. And they were going to use it to get those people. In this big human trafficking scam, they knew about the Texas group. I didn't even tell them about the Texas group. That was, and I said, oh, the Kingsmen, is that what they call themselves? A retired judge in Texas involved in it, and he killed himself. Another judge in another state. He had the biggest case on his desk, and he was too arrogant to look into it. They still owe me the money. It's cost me greatly, and they got over 800 bad guys in one swoop like 3 weeks later. Got a bunch of other people out of here, too. It took other people a couple of years later to pick up a case he did nothing with. But to open it, had an officer talk to Dave. They still owe me that money. I told the Department of Justice, it's fraud. Defrauding victims. Saying you're going to protect them, you put them in, actually open a case. Give them the money for working the case. Have the police watch them. And then you just leave them up there to die. And let the drug cartel abuse the hell out of them. In protected custody. And then it takes another law enforcement agency to pick it up and get all those bad guys. Defrauding victims is a disgusting, vile crime. And feeding them to the enemy is just horrifying of what kind of sick animal would do that to a victim. They still owe me that money. I told the Department of Justice. And I worked in a bank. You put your social in, that account's still there. My money should still be there. And it takes a few types of putting a social in. And like my friend from the the one guy from the prosecutor's office, be illegal for the FBI to drop you no matter what once they agree to protect you. They can never let you go. They can move you to a different witness protection program, but they have to talk to you first. Failure to protect is abuse and misconduct. He said, because, they could always find somebody else to try to kill you. I'm going to go ahead and upload this. But these people need to realize what they're saying. Instead of calling the police on Dave, they volunteered to take his money to hurt me and to stalk me and drug me, beat me, and rape me. Do you realize what a Portage County or a Stark County sheriff would do to them and watch their face if they admit, oh, Dave hired us to do it to him? That don't make it right, honey. They'll get around it, Dave, and your confession will get you arrested. They'll body slam them so fast it won't be funny. They're not smart enough to realize that. They're really not.